The gavel's in hand, that can only mean one thing. Welcome to Court Case with me, Judge Jaydee. The guys will be given a hot topic and they have to argue whether for or against about this subject, and then I make the final ruling as to whether or not it is a hot take. This can get heated. I'm just going to let you know that from now. But once you hear the gavel, it's over. I'm liking some elements of what I'm seeing down in LA. Shout out to Paul George. And I'm liking other elements that I'm maybe questioning. And I'm looking at the Lakers, and when I think about their defense this year, that is definitely a massive question mark. We knew that they were going to come in offensive firepower. We've seen what Carmelo's done. We know what LeBron James can do. AD's already proven himself as a definitive all-star within this league. But someone once said to me, and I can't remember who it is. I can't remember who's the champion on this show, but someone said to me, defense wins championships. That's a strong quotation. And when I look at the Lakers' defense, sometimes I'm scratching my head and wondering what is going on down there in the Staples. So, Ovie, I'm actually making a very strong statement this year. As much as all the hype and the favourites that the Lakers were to come out of the West and make it to the finals, I actually think their defence might be their downfall this year. How do you feel about that one?
You know what's wild? I honestly don't think it is necessarily their defense. I think they're smart enough. They have enough veterans on the team to where they will be able to figure out how to get stops when they need. However, I do think what the biggest issue is Russell Westbrook's turnovers. Russell Westbrook's turnovers. At the end of the day, Russell Westbrook, he's turning the ball over at a rate that's leading to 19 points on the road, and I think around 12 at home. Yo, if your point guard is giving away 19 points, you can't play defense when you're turning the ball over, especially at the point guard position. And at the end of the day, when you're always giving the other team fast break point, you're not able to defend. You're not able to use your size. You're not able to come at the paint. Now, the issue when they do go with the bigger lineup, and AD sort of chasing guys around, they have to figure that out. However, I think that's a problem that is more to do with focus. And the more these guys are locked in, they're very capable of playing defense in the half court. But, hey, older guys, BJ tell you, when you get older, you ain't trying to run up and down the field, So turnovers are definitely going to lead to a lot of easy buckets, and that's what's giving them, I think, problems this early. And on top of that, they're not rebounding the ball. They're not rebounding the ball as well as a team with that size should. They're not imposing themselves on our team. So, everyone can talk about the defense, but in order to defend well, you have to play good offense. And unfortunately, Russell Westbrook, his style of basketball, I don't think makes that very, very possible for the guys.
Ooh, that's a strong take. BJ Armstrong, I look at this Lakers team that was successful in the bubble. They predicated themselves on good defense. They predicated themselves on size, length, being versatile. I look at that Frank Vogel team that was so successful down in Indiana. The DNA of that team was defense, toughness, and tenacity. I'm now looking at this team and I'm confused. I'm trying to work out who is the defensive leader? Who is leading that team on the defensive end of the ball? A former NBA player once said to me, defense is two things, communication and effort. And I'm seeing neither right now from the Lakers.
Yeah, it's early, Jaydee. It's early. I want to sing the same song that my good friend Mo always sings when he talks about the Celtics. It's going to take time. It's going to take time. The things are bad. But all jokes aside, I like this Lakers team, and I'm going to tell you why. Because at some point here, I really believe that this team is going to figure it out. I really do. Now, in saying that, getting back to your original question, there is a slogan that we have. It's called KYP, Know Your Personnel. Right now, this team is trying to figure themselves out. But I have a bigger question, Jaydee and guys. Who is going to get the last shot as of now on this team? And if it comes down to an important game, is it Anthony Davis? This is the thing that's been interesting about watching LeBron, because I live out here in LA. LeBron James has basically turned over the team to Anthony Davis. He's allowed Anthony Davis to discipline the team. You saw the little skirmish he had there with AD. They're featuring AD in the offense every time he's on the floor. And they want him to be the anchor, not only on the offensive end, but the defensive end. But at some point, if they're going to play at an elite level, LeBron James is going to have to figure out how to make this work between Anthony Davis and Russell Westbrook. And the reason I'm saying this is because of the following, and every guard knows this. It is very difficult to play with someone who's constantly posting up all the time in the post because that doesn't allow you to attack the basket. Well, what does Russell Westbrook do? He attacks the basket. He's not going to become a three-point shooter. So at some point here, they're going to have to figure out their offensive spacing, because that to me is the key for this team. Defensively, they will figure that out. Why will they figure that out? It's because they're going to do what all veterans do, because when you get older in this league, like Ovie alluded to, you know how to slow the game down. So your best offense, your best defense at that point becomes your offense. They will slow the game down from that standpoint. But will they have the proper spacing, and who's going to get the touches at the end of the game? Right now, they want it to be AD, but I don't think LeBron is going to continue to defer if they don't get it done, especially against the elite teams.
Ooh. I mean, that's two strong takes right there, Mo. I've seen the adjustments that Frank Vogel's trying to make, moving AD to the 5, Avery Bradley coming in. I'm just trying to work out, from what you're seeing at this moment in time, do you agree that their defense is going to be their downfall?
The first thing that I have to say before we talk about the Lakers' defense is there's something that happens in NBA media that I'm really not a big fan of. Over the past however many seasons now, when a team's not playing well, Russell Westbrook becomes the scapegoat. It all becomes Russell Westbrook's fault. So here, we're talking about Russell Westbrook's turning the ball over. That's why the Lakers are bad right now. Okay, Russell Westbrook's getting 5 turnovers a game. LeBron's getting 4 turnovers a game, but ain't no one talking about that. Okay, the problem with the Lakers right now is they can't rebound the basketball. They're giving up way too many second chance points. You're not going to win basketball games if you're giving up second chance points. They're committing fouls at an absurdly high rate. They're allowing so many points in the paint. As you know, we've spoken about, they're older. They're not getting back in transition. They're giving up those points in the paint. But when it comes to the playoffs, those points in the paint will slow down. So, you know, there's not so much transition basketball happening. So I'm not too concerned about that. I am concerned a little bit about the fouls, but the rebounding is the biggest concern for me, especially when you start out the year with Anthony Davis at the 4 and DeAndre Jordan at the 5. You should be grabbing every board. But I think the defense will be the downfall, so they're going to have to figure it out, and they will figure it out.
That last statement right there was very profound. They feel like they will figure it out, and the HeatCheck family have spoken. All I'm going to say is the next run of games for the Lakers is very, very friendly. So if there is a team that can get it together, it's a LeBron James-led team, and you will see it very... That's why I've given the verdict right there, that don't ever doubt the Lakers. Gents, court is now out of session. Thank you so much. We'll see you guys next week.